have received a letter in the mail talking about big changes coming to Medicare, changes you need to know. And here with us to explain what's needed to be prepared, we welcome back Ken and Amy Schaefer, owners of Schaefer Business Associates, and Brent Talley from Hayes Barton Pharmacy. Thank you all so much for being with us.
Thanks so much. Glad to be here.
Yep. It's crazy that it's already this time of year again. And this year, I hear there's some pretty big changes coming to the Medicare.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of big changes, and it starts with Medicare slightly reducing the payments to the Medicare Advantage plans, which, as many of our seniors are finding in their annual notice of change, it's resulting in benefits that are flat to going slightly backwards. And many plans are not going to be offered again next year, which a couple of those plans are actually in the Triangle area.
Wow.
Yeah, and some of the biggest changes are going to revolve around prescription drug coverage for both prescription drug plans and Medicare Advantage plans. Probably the biggest is going to be the Inflation Reduction Act, which has implemented a $2,000 cap on total expenditures for drugs for each and every single senior in 2025. That's going to mean that some seniors with very expensive drugs are going to see some savings in 2025. The reverse, however, is that's also driving what we expect to be some higher premiums and or higher deductibles, and as Amy mentioned, some plans being pulled from the market. Another really big change is going to be that there's going to be a type of essentially smoothing of payments for seniors. They can sign up for a program that allows them to average their costs throughout the entire year, so they pay the same amount each and every single month versus the crazy roller coaster ride that they may have seen in the past where there was very expensive drugs during deductible phase, less than additional coverage, et cetera. Bottom line, there's going to be a lot of changes, some very positive, some not so positive.
That's what I was just about to ask you, in your expert opinions, whether these were good or bad for people. What I'm hearing with this is it may be a good time to look at our plans and maybe do we need to reconsider renewing and think about actually getting an entirely new plan?
Yeah, great question. I think first and foremost, seniors need to pay attention this year to their annual notice of change. And if there are things in that annual notice of change that they feel weren't as positive as they wanted them to be, then that might be a good time to reach out to a local independent agent that carries all the plans in their service area. Be proactive, provide them with their list of drugs and doctors so that agent can then go to work for them trying to map their needs to the available plans.
And then there's several things we recommend you don't do. Don't call an 800 number off a commercial. Don't click on a link on the internet. Don't answer a random text message from someone you don't know. And don't reach out to someone who only works with one plan, because a lot of times what happens is you connect with someone who doesn't know the local market, who doesn't have your best interest in they don't put you first. And that's why we always recommend reach out to a local independent agent.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important to stay with somebody who actually knows what's happening where you live. How can we know that you, as a couple and as experts in this business for such a long time, stay on top of all of these changes, because there's so much going on, so that we as customers can trust and know that you're offering the greatest opinion and in our best interest?
Yeah, great question. We spend a couple of hundred hours every year in certifications and self-study. We carry every single Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plan that's available in the state of North Carolina, as well as a wide range of Medicare supplements. And we study each and every one of those plans. We then work with our clients to make sure we have their drugs and doctors so we can map their specific needs to the individual plans and benefits that are out there.
Now, as a pharmacist, I know these changes are affecting you, and this is something you do each and every day. Mm-hmm. How does it affect what you do and the services you provide to the customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So every January, we get the changes that come across for our patients, and they walk in the door on January 1, and there's often a lot of people who had not read their annual notice of change form, or they lost it, or whatever. And so while that is typically confusing and can be bad for them, this year with all the changes that we're seeing and what Ken and Amy are highlighting is the fact that it's particularly important this year because it can cost them a lot of money out of pocket, and they can even show up to the pharmacy and not have any coverage at all January 1, and then they're stuck, right? Then they've got to figure out how to obtain their medications. We've also seen plenty of patients who came in the door in January and they had a change that they weren't expecting. So their plan changed, or they're on a different plan than they thought they were, and a lot of times it's because they called the 1-800 number or had clicked on a link link or it answered a text message, what have you, and it causes a lot of confusion. And again, because of all the changes this year that you're seeing in a lot of the plans that are coming and going, this can be extremely expensive for a patient. And so we just really, every year we really kind of go to the patients and say, you really need to call a professional. We recommend Ken and Amy. Please call them because they know it inside and out, and it can really save you a lot of money and a lot of heartache.
That's what I'm hearing, that not only is this a frustrating situation, it can be detrimental to your health if you don't know what's going on, but also very, very expensive. But we can save money because that leads me to asking you, how much do your services cost?
Okay, so the only thing we ask our clients to pay us is attention. We don't charge a fee whether we change their plan or if we tell them to stay on the plan that they're on because it's the right fit. We don't make a plan change just so we can earn a commission like many of the online numbers or the toll-free numbers you call. The best way to get started working with us is to give us a call on our local phone number, 919-378-1156, or reach out through our website at www.nextchaptersba, next chapter like a chapter of a book, and then the letters S as in Sam, B as in baby, A as in alpha.com.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing all of your knowledge, especially hearing what it's like on the front end, and you're actually dealing and seeing what happens when people aren't aware of these changes. It's so important that we speak to professionals like yourselves. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely great to be here.
Yep.
Thank you.
The preceding was sponsored by